This kid's face kind of looks like her ex, but also resembles her husband, so it's like a combination. A combination. Hello everyone, welcome back to Reading Your Confessions Read. Anon. As you guys know, here I'm going to read your weirdest, dumbest, scariest, grossest, or whatever experiences, secrets, and confessions, anonymously and nicely. If you want to join in, share your stories or weird experiences, you can do that too. Anyone who wants to join. The link is in my video description or in my Instagram bio. You can use that too. Honestly, today I don't feel like doing a dance intro. Is it okay if we skip the dance intro this week? I'm too lazy to turn on the lights first. Is it okay if we don't do a dance intro today? I'm really tired. Okay, now we're going to start our first story, alright? This story happened when I was in my third year of high school, about 3 or 4 years ago. And by the way, I'm a girl, and thank God I've started to make peace with the situation. Why is that? This story happened 1 week before I moved up a grade. At that time, I had a friend. Let's just call her Nisa. Now, Nisa could be considered pretty, but honestly, she was cheap and crazy. Basically, she was pretty trashy, and she was into older men. Honestly, I was a bit surprised that she liked older guys, but I didn't really care that much. Exactly a week before the class promotion, she told me a story and said this. She met a rich older guy on the green app Nijat. She told me the whole story, saying that the older guy had money, was nice, caring, and all that. Honestly, from the start of this story, I was already thinking, why is this girl still in school but already so materialistic? So, while she was telling the story, I got curious about who this older guy was. Then she showed me a picture of him. And do you know who it was, Noel? That older guy was my dad. Without thinking twice, I went straight home from Nisa's place and immediately looked for my dad as soon as I got home. I immediately told my mom everything, and when she heard it, she got really angry and went straight to my dad's room. At that time, my dad was sleeping and not working, right? When my mom got to his room, she immediately took his phone and checked its contents, and sure enough, what she found was true. My dad was chatting with my friend named Nisa. My mom immediately opened my dad's WhatsApp, and when she checked, it was true null because Nisa had sent him photos and videos of herself. After that incident, my mom immediately went to Nisa's house and told her mom everything. After hearing the story, Nisa's mom scolded her really badly. Then somehow, for some reason, Nisa's mom, she bought a pregnancy test, Noel, and you know what? After checking, the result was really shocking. It turned out Nisa was pregnant with my dad's child. After that incident, my mom immediately asked for a divorce from my dad, and Nisa was forced to marry my dad. And a week after that, after we moved up a grade, Nisa dropped out of school and married my dad, while I went with my mom and also dropped out of school after moving up to 12th grade. Yeah, thank you. Interesting. Honestly, I respect the choices made by the person who sent this message, because in my opinion, there are a lot of people out there who don't have the courage, like telling their mom or dad. For example, if one of them was cheating because they're afraid of ruining the family, right? I don't know if the sender didn't think it through or what, but anyway, I really respect it. Because if it were me, honestly, I would think about it several times. Because I'm the type who gets scared, I tend to overthink things. So before I report it, I would definitely think like, if I report it, I'm afraid they might get divorced. If they get divorced, then I'll come from a broken home. And if I come from a broken home, I'll get stressed out and so on. Meanwhile, he immediately thought about his mother's safety and happiness first. So yeah, I respect that. Yeah. And for you, Nisa, no words needed. One gesture says it all. And as for Nisa's father, man, he's stupid, an idiot. He's already going to hell, and his mistress is cheating with a dumb school kid. Okay, now we're going to move on to the second story. Yeah, a kid supporting his child and wife with money he got from being a rich sugar daddy's mistress. Hi Noel, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I want to tell you a story. I want to share my life story. I'm a guy, 29 years old, already married and have 3 kids. My wife is a kind and loving woman. I'm very grateful to have been blessed with a family like this. But unfortunately, 3 years ago, I was laid off from my job because of COVID. So of course, I was stressed out thinking about how to make money to provide for my family. By the way, this story is from 2024, so it was around 2021, long story short, after 7 months of being unemployed. Suddenly, someone DM'd me saying there was a job opening for me. At this point, my wife didn't know that I had been fired. I told her I was working from home. And for the 7 months I was unemployed, I used my savings, which wasn't much. Okay, after getting the DM, of course I was happy. He sent me the address of the cafe. He asked to meet there, and without hesitation I got ready, went straight to the cafe he mentioned, and couldn't stop smiling on the way. I mean, who wouldn't be happy to get a job after being unemployed for 7 months? Excited, when I arrived at the cafe, I saw my friend sitting with an older man who looked about 45 or 50 years old. My friend immediately introduced me to the man. At first, I thought he was going to be my boss at my new workplace. Just like that. I acted friendly and put on my best professional smile, and after a long conversation, introductions and everything, the man gave me a flirty smile. What the heck is this? Come on, of course I was surprised, Nul. Why did this man suddenly start acting so weird like this? I grew increasingly uncomfortable. Then he suddenly sat beside me and began stroking my thigh. Well, because I was already feeling really uncomfortable, I finally decided to go to the bathroom for a bit. I stayed in there for about 15 minutes and didn't come out because I was afraid of running into that man. I tried to be patient. I tried to stay strong because I really needed this job for my family, my child. We needed to eat, money was tight, and my savings were running out. Stressed out in the bathroom, my friend suddenly came in and immediately talked to me about it. Actually, this job is all about smiling, and he told me that I was going to get the job there. I was really shocked. Honestly, I was really mad at him right then, but he said that I wouldn't be able to get a job anytime soon because the COVID situation was so chaotic. At that time, he also told me that this was the only job that could make a decent amount of money. Right then, I immediately thought about my finances that were running low after my friend talked me into it, and with a lot of reluctance, I finally made my decision. I agreed to become his mistress, and I was nervous, of course, because it was my first time ever. We both left the restroom, and at that moment, the man didn't say much. Without beating around the bush, Mom immediately told me to go to the hotel she had already booked. Long story short, I went to the hotel she mentioned, and when I entered the room, the man was already lying on the bed wearing a bathrobe. He hugged me right away. But honestly, I wasn't surprised because my friend told me that my role here was to be on top. So yeah, I just stayed quiet and went along with it. At that time, the man started kissing me, and honestly, his mouth smelled like crap, seriously. I endured all that disgust for the money. Even when I saw his hairy chest, I almost ran away, but again, I tried to stay calm. Why? Because of the money, that's why. You all know what happened, and after doing that, the man gave me money, and it was quite a lot. 10 million in cash straight into my hands. I mean, who wouldn't be happy to see that much money? Then the man told me that I could get even more, as long as I was willing to be introduced to his other friends. Seriously, do you guys even know about this? This is like a nightmare that's happening in real life, in reality. Long story short, I went home and threw up a lot because I was disgusted, remembering what happened at the hotel. I was so disgusted with myself that I couldn't even bring myself to hug my wife while she was sleeping. But honestly, money can change everything. No. For a year and a half, I became a rich old man's mistress, earning hundreds of millions, the money I made, all kinds of old men I slept with. The ones I served, and honestly, during my time as their mistress, I always threw up after serving them. I was really disgusted, but again, I endured all of this for money. And there was this one old man who wanted to buy me a house as long as I agreed to be his mistress forever. But of course, I refused. No way I would agree to that. I hid all of that from my wife. My wife thought I had a job all this time, but actually I was just some old man's mistress. But thank God I'm not doing that anymore. I've left that dark world behind, and now I have a decent job. I'm starting to earn honest money again. I've cut off everything related to my past. I'm ready to answer for my sins, and I want to spill a little tea. I was even once the kept man of a really macho celebrity, but it turned out he was actually into guys. But I won't tell that part because it's sensitive, and honestly, I'm scared, so no. Alright then, No, that's all for my story. There's no lesson to be learned. I just wanted to share. Stay healthy. No, I hope things keep going well for you. God bless you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, maybe he said there's no lesson to be learned, but honestly, I think there is something we can take away from this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, honestly, there is. You might say this person is a big sinner, this person won't go to heaven, and so on. But he's an amazing father and husband. I know maybe his actions were wrong, but his intentions were amazing. He would do anything as long as he could provide for his family and give them a good life. And he just wanted his family to be happy. He was just happy, without knowing what he had to face every day. Like, you just heard it, even though he did this and got a lot of money, every time he did it just once, he would throw up, man, especially when he's straight, he's not gay, that's the thing. Okay, like, fuck, man, I really respect him. Like, okay, he might be wrong, maybe he made mistakes and all that, but no matter what you guys say, this guy, he's a great dad. And above all, he's a great husband. No matter what you guys say, that's what I think.
Quick break, honestly, my head hurts right now.
I'm just letting you know, for those of you who like watching me or just like me or like her, you can watch me, not only on my YouTube videos or my TikTok videos, but I also live stream on YouTube. Every night at 7:30 p.m. WIB. There we're going to have fun, have a good time together, laugh together, listen to confessions, read confessions, watch reactions together, play games. But yeah, like I said earlier, we're going to listen to people's confessions live. For example, like this, sorry about this, but I used to fantasize about you, damn. So, if you're interested, please don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you get notified. Whenever I'm live streaming or uploading a video or shorts or anything like that. Okay, third story, guys, hang in there. We're almost done. We're almost done. Relax, we can do it. We can do it. Secret brain and two husbands. Okay, hello, Noel Alexander. I'm not sharing my own story, but one about my two friends who confided all their secrets to me a long time ago. So it became a burden for me because I couldn't tell anyone, and honestly, I'm trustworthy when it comes to keeping secrets, so yeah, I've been keeping secrets by myself for 14 years. It's really stressful. I'm afraid the sin will be passed on to me. Now, I'm telling this in a video for all of Indonesia, you know? My best friend, let's call her Anul, graduated with a diploma and married a man over 20 years older. Since the marriage was unregistered, she became his mistress in the second year. She got pregnant, but when she told her husband, he told her to get an abortion. Then he asked her to get sterilized because he didn't want kids with her. Honestly, this is just the start. Honestly, this is where the story starts getting exhausting. In the third year of the marriage, she decided to go back to college for her bachelor's degree to fill her free time because her husband didn't allow her to work. Her husband is possessive and treats my friend like a doll he wants to control. Just so you know, my friend's looks, face and personality are actually very good. She's the kind of dream girl guys have always wanted since they were young. Earlier, I misread the last part, so let me read it again. My friend's looks, face and personality. This is the kind of future girl that guys dream of. She's really the dream girl for her husband, even since he was young. Well, when she was in college for her bachelor's degree, my friend started to change her attitude and behavior because she realized she was just being treated like a doll, but nothing came out of it. The house, car, and other fixed assets, she only got a monthly allowance. That's how it's been all this time. This guy is all sweet talk, really sweet, you know, and her change was a complete 180 from being a good hijab-wearing girl. So she started clubbing, drinking, taking off her hijab, sleeping around, changing boyfriends, just so you know. She can cheat with 2 or 3 guys at once, and if caught, just moves on to someone else. Honestly, she's wild. Honestly, she's really wild, but I can understand why though. Her husband doesn't know about my friend's social life, so she's that free. He only knows that my friend takes off her hijab. They only meet once a month, and that's already considered often. In the 10th year of marriage, my God, my friend's mom kept looking even harder for affair partners. No. She had an affair with another woman's husband and became his secret wife. So you could say she ended up having 2 husbands, and both marriages were legitimate according to religion, with her family's knowledge. And what stresses me out even more is that both her first husband and her second husband trust me to keep an eye on her. Yeah, because I'm her closest friend, I end up covering one lie with another. Both of her husbands, but her marriage to the second husband didn't last long, only 3 years because his wife found out. He couldn't handle it. And with my friend's rather temperamental nature and her refusal to admit when she's wrong, even though she really is. Honestly, I feel really guilty toward her first husband because I wasn't trustworthy. But on one hand, I'm friends with his wife, and on the other hand, I feel sorry for my friend's life that's already ruined and she won't be able to have children. Because that jerk of a guy really put everyone in a tough spot, right, Nool Alexander? And in another story, this one friend of mine, let's just call her B, she just got married 2 years ago, and there's more. She just got married 2 years ago, and 2 weeks after the wedding, she and I went to Jogja to hang out. And FYI, she and her husband have been in a long-distance relationship right after getting married because her husband works on a ship, Nool. That night, while I was sleeping, it turns out she went to meet her beloved ex who lives in Jogja. At 11 p.m., she just got back to the hotel, dropped off by her ex, and her ex even stopped by our room. And you know what? When she got back to the hotel, she immediately said, "Kak, I just had sex with that guy." And he finished inside twice. And what's worse? This girl told me while grinning and laughing, making it even more of a burden. I was stressed because her husband had entrusted her to me before he went sailing. And while my friend was actually staying at my house at that time, do you want to know what made my headache even worse, Nool Alexander? Turns out, not long after coming back from Jogja, she got pregnant and I was super stressed. I didn't know. I kept thinking about who the father was and about the baby. Coincidentally, the baby was born a year ago. When the baby arrived, I looked at the face and so did my friend. She quickly asked, "Kak, the baby looks like my husband, right?" It's not even about whether the baby looks like him, Nool Alexander. What is wrong with her? Isn't that such a messed up question? So far, I don't know whose child it is and I don't care. I don't want responsibility because I feel trapped in Jogja, that's all. This kid's face kind of looks like her ex, but also kind of like her husband. So it's like a mix, a combination. I'm so tired of keeping all these heavy secrets. Oh God, this is about the afterlife. I hope I don't get caught up in their sins. I'm at a point where I'm really stressed out. Pray for me, Nool Alexander. Hold on. I'm still stuck at the combination part. Hold on. OMG, I'm about to be exposed by the combination. No. Okay, if he looks like her ex and also looks like the girl, okay, or looks like her husband, then looks like the girl, but what if he looks like the ex and the husband? How does that work? How does that even make sense? I don't want to scream, but honestly, I can't take this. I'm tired. My head is spinning so much, honestly. Hey sender, I'm 14 years old. You've been holding on to these two stories for years. That's tough. That's tough. If I were you, I wouldn't be able to handle it either, man. Man, okay, no problem. You stay strong. I'll watch over you. This is still anonymous, so no one should know who's who or who the culprit is. So we should all just take care of ourselves, okay? That's the end of our story for today. It could be more than 15 minutes. And if you really watched me from start to finish, you can try commenting Secret City, because that way I'll know who among you really watched from start to finish. Okay, that's all. And see you in the next episode next week. It should be Sunday. Bye.